What is up, y'all? Welcome back and welcome to après-ski. Get on camera and be like, yeah, it's gonna be easy to talk about all the things that I'm passionate about, and then I'm just like, where do I begin? So y'all, we have had these colors in the works since like last fall or even like late summer. We have formulated, reformulated, tweaked these shades and the fragrances and the collection for so long. I truly feel like they are perfect, and I'm so excited to share the new collection with you. So it is called Après-ski, and it is my take on winter cheeks, winter lips, achieving the fantasy. And it's meant to be a cool toned complement to my Summer Abroad collection. So it is set up similarly, but slightly different because I had to kind of think around the requests that I was getting and the appetite for a really flexible kind of fjords cheek. If you're unfamiliar with what that means, if this is your first video of mine that you're watching, at one point on my channel, I just was riffing and I was talking about how I loved a naturally flushed cheek, and that was what I wanted to create with a blush look. And I said something silly like, I want to look like a Nordic child running through the fjords. At the time, it didn't occur to me that a fjord is a body of water and you can't really run on them, but it's become like a meme on my channel at this point, and we just call it fjords cheeks. And it's that beautiful, natural looking flush, maybe a little bit more exaggerated than natural, and it focuses around everything from a deep rust to a berry cheek, and it's gonna give that chilled, cozy kind of look. So are y'all ready to jump in and explore the shades? I am! So the collection consists of 3 cool leaning beigey mauves, and I did it the same way that I did the last collection, in that they are meant to be flexible for many skin tones. So they are meant to achieve a similar look for different skin tones based on their depth and their saturation and even the color balance. And also you can mix and match them. There's no reason you can't wear any of the shades. The next thing that's in the collection are, and I'm gonna show you the shades in a second, I promise, 2 adjusters. So these are your fjordsy adjusters, and one leans kind of candy apple red for people who want that pinky cherry flushed cheek, and the other one is decidedly cool and quite purple. And they're both very translucent and fairly low pigment, so that they can be used alone or on top of any other blush to really enrich the wind chapped appearance. And then there are 3 lip glosses, and I can't wait to share those with you too. So let's jump into the first 3 blushes. When I say we formulated and reformulated these so many times, y'all, it was like this collaborative effort between me and Abigail at Finding Ferdinand, because it's not just about picking colors. It's about the way that the pigments are derived from mostly natural sources. And so they're not just like a pure, a light version of a cyan, a magenta, a yellow. They're like these ores in most cases, so they have nuance to them. And so formulating and reformulating them, replacing blues with blacks and things like that, just to make sure that the colors translated properly on different skin tones. And we tested them and tested them and tested them, made sure that the lip glosses didn't have the white ring of death. There was just a lot of time and energy put into these. So here we have the 3 beautiful cool toned blushes. This is a very wearable cool tone. These are not going to go kind of gray on you. They're not ultra desaturated. They are meant to be worn as effortlessly as the Summer Abroad collection. You can apply these with reckless abandon. So our first shade, ooh, this is my first time putting my finger in a brand new one. I've been working in the lab samples. They're just really messy looking. So this is Sunrise. It's very cool to see the actual shade name and all of the branding and stuff on the packages. If you're unfamiliar with Finding Ferdinand, this is what their packaging looks like. I'm gonna do inserts, obviously, of me applying them, but there we have Sunrise. Sunrise is the fairest version of this cool toned mauvey beigey pink. As it goes on the cheeks, it really gives a natural, easy transition from your complexion look on fair skin to your bronzer or whatever else is on your face. This formula it layers beautifully on top of powders and creams, and it can provide a really subtle wash, or you can really build it up for more impact. And on neutral and warm undertones, you're gonna be able to see more of the like pink flush, and on cooler skin tones, you're going to get a little bit more of the cool toned mauve. That's just kind of how the shades work, but I think that they're really adaptable. Next we have our medium, and this is High Noon. But again, there is absolutely no reason that any skin tone can't wear that. You know, it's meant to be a very flexible shade. It also has the same kind of balance of neutral and cool. It's going to provide a more saturated flush, as you can see, if you apply it to fair skin, and it still has enough saturation that it's going to show up on richer, deeper skin tones. And finally, in this part of the collection, we have Dusk. Intuitively, Dusk is our deepest, most saturated of these shades. And I'm gonna pull out Summer Abroad and swatch them next to this in just a second so that you can see the way that the summer tones balance against the winter tones, especially if you already own them. So there you can see, and probably very easily identify which one you're drawn to, but they layer beautifully on top of each other. They're meant to be mixed and matched. So there we have Summer Abroad and Après Ski. Now, the formula has been adjusted ever so slightly just to have more stability in really extreme temperatures. When we shipped the last collection, some people in some really hot places experienced their products melting, and so that was something that we wanted to alleviate. So you'll notice they're a little bit more stable on the skin, and that's going to accommodate more skin types as well. So there we have it. If you already own any of the Summer Broad collection, that is Latte, Olay, and Macchiato, and then we have Sunrise, High Noon, and Dusk. And you can see they're quite complimentary. It was honestly so exciting to be able to accommodate the way that people were requesting a cool toned collection. I was like, this is fantastic. Like, as soon as Summer Abroad came out, people were like, I want a cool toned version. And I was like, that's the most exciting request I've ever gotten. So thank you. Thank y'all for wanting that from me. I appreciate it. So those are beautiful. They are, and they're meant to be, again, super, super user-friendly, but I know that there are a lot of y'all out there who are like, show me the fjords. Give me the fjords. I want the ability to turn up the volume and get the ultimate chapped looking cheek, okay? Allow me to present chilled and cozy. Now I have built up some fat swatches here because these are meant to be sheer. You can see there's really no white in them at all. They're meant to be kind of a glaze in order to adjust your cheek look. They layer beautifully on top of all of the mauve shades without adding any opacity, and you can use as little or as much of it as you want. And cozy will richen up the look in a slightly warmer way, and clearly chilled is going to give you a cooler tone cheek. This is going to be beautiful on deep skin tones as well as olive undertones. And again, you can build this up as much or as little as you want. So there we have the three kind of base shades in the collection and the two adjuster blushes. I hope this excites y'all. I was so excited when we started actually layering them, seeing how adaptable the kind of system was, because I wanted to create something that everyone could appreciate. So let's talk about some lip glosses, shall we? Last collection, we just did Sparkling Limoncello. It was one of the easiest lip glosses to like because it was clear with a specific suspension of gold and silver sparkle with a lemon scent, a limoncello scent. It was just fantastic, and the formula is lovely. This time, I wanted to put out 3 lip glosses. Honestly, like narrowing it down to 3 was difficult, but that was what we ended up with. So allow me to introduce you to Cafe Noisette, Haute Cocoa, and Mulled Wine. So Cafe Noisette is this beautiful beige that I have on my lips right now, and what I set out to create with this shade was somewhere in between Victoria Beckham Bikini and Chanel Boy. I know, like that's just a really exciting prospect. So what we ended up with is this incredible milky beige shade, and it looks like a cool toned coffee. Cafe Noisette, okay, so Abigail is actually French, and you notice I'm not actually trying to pronounce Après Ski as a French person. I can't, so I'm just not going to. But she actually helped me name this shade because I was like, what is this color? And she's like, it's that like hazelnut coffee color. In French, a Cafe Noisette is not actually hazelnut flavored, it's named for the color of it, and so you do have that in this. but we kind of took a little extra spin on it and added a beautiful hazelnut fragrance to this. So it is hazelnut with like a really great authentic coffee scent. When we got the hazelnut latte fragrance and I smelled it, I was like, I need more of that coffee punch. I don't want it to just be sickly sweet. I want it to smell real. And so we got some actual like authentic coffee fragrance as well and mixed the two so that we could get the right balance. I'm telling you, it took a lot of iterations to get this right. And also, you know, like I said, sort of inspired a little bit by the way that Chanel Boy looks on the lips, but also I wanted it in a gloss because that's not my favorite formula, I'll be honest. The Chanel formula, it's not my favorite. I wish I had that color in something else, so I created it. It does have a tiny bit of a neutral kind of micro sparkle in there. It's kind of paying homage to a little bit of iciness, and what it does is it really just adds a little bit of extra plumpness and like reflection to the lips. This formula was also tweaked along the way to take some of the white pigment out so that you didn't end up with the white ring of death, so we don't have that. This was something that I have always wanted to create because I think that a milky nude lip is just one of the sexiest things out there. You can use it alone or you can use it with a lip liner and it just makes the lips look kind of contoured and plump. I adore it, especially as someone who wants their cheeks to shine, wants their eyes to shine. This is a really beautiful way to kind of mute the lip out a little bit in that wintry way, but still end up with like a sexy nude look. So you might be asking, what about the other skin tones, okay? Why don't we get a milky lip? You do. So this is Haute Cocoa, possibly a little homage to my bestie, hautemesstom, who has a passion for a deep brown lip. But the idea was to be able to provide a deeper version of this beige and give y'all options. And the other thing that's fantastic about this is it smells like hot cocoa. It smells so good. It smells like chocolate. So this one, as we were developing it, Abigail was the one who kept encouraging me to go cooler. She's like, I need it to really look like hot cocoa, not like melted chocolate, like that milky hot cocoa. And so we ended up with this beautiful sheer cool toned brown, and it is just absolutely dialed into perfection. This doesn't have any sparkle in it. Again, I wanted to give the option, and I also didn't want to have a lot of kind of contrast in the suspension. I just wanted this to be sexy and sheer and wearable. So there they are next to each other, and honestly, I think that anybody could get away with wearing either of them. And finally, if a brownie nudie shade isn't your vibe, I wanted to do a really beautiful translucent wine lip. And what better way, oh my gosh, than to focus on, that smells so good. It smells so good. What better way than with an actual mulled wine inspired lip? This is, again, a translucent shade that anybody can wear. It doesn't have any white backing to it, and so it's not going to kind of sink into the lips and get milky on deep skin tones. It's this perfect deep red that doesn't go too blue and it doesn't go too candy apple. So it kind of fits right in between the two adjuster shades. And the scent, y'all. I was riding around in my car with all of these little lip gloss samples that were clear, but I would like apply them throughout my day for weeks and weeks, testing different individual scents and seeing how I liked them, essentially. And what we ended up with in this case was this cinnamon spice, and it's not plumping, don't worry, it's not actually spicy feeling, it just has like a subtle spice smell to it, and a little bit of like a crisp apple and Cabernet smell to it. So it has this like rich bouquet. It just feels so wintry to use it, and I mean, it doesn't mean you can only use it in the winter, but the smell is nostalgic. It really sells the fantasy, you know? So those are the 3 lip glosses. So there is the full collection. Obviously I've shot inserts and there will be a lot of photos on the website for y'all to look at, and I will be happy to answer any questions that you have, obviously. There we have it all together. The bouquet of après-ski meant to achieve that off-duty wind-chapped mountain skin. I don't even ski. I've skied once in my life. I'm here for the après of it all, okay? So let's talk details of the release. Y'all, I can't believe that we're actually freaking finally releasing this. I have been sitting on these products and playing with them and tweaking them for so long. I'm just like, yes, we finally get to release them to you. The PR is going to be sent out pretty soon, and so some of your favorite creators, keep an eye out. They're going to get their hands on the collection a little bit sooner than the actual launch so that y'all can see it on some skin tones and stuff, and you know, maybe it'll help you make some decisions. But the collection is going to come out February 1st. Very easy to remember. So I think we'll be doing the discount codes if you order within the first week, and I think all the creators are going to have them, and we're going to do a better job this time of getting them to stack. That was something that was just like a Shopify issue, and we've learned so much since the last release, and I'm not sure, but I don't think that we're going to be doing any pre-sale. We know now, at least in loose terms, like the volume that we need to produce, and so we are only going to be selling what exists instead of planning for ordering raw materials to make more and things like that. So there will not be the headache of the pre-sale and that, you know, crazy wait that happened over the summer for people who ordered on the pre-sale. So this should be something that's a lot more seamless. We appreciate y'all's patience because this is something that Finding Ferdinand kind of chose me as their first collaboration, you know, with an influencer at all. And this is the first real collaboration that I've ever done with a beauty company. And so we have learned a lot along the way, but I hope y'all are excited about this. I will have all the details listed down below, and we're going to do an Instagram live from the Finding Ferdinand offices on February 1st to launch the collection. So I hope y'all will tune in for that. I hope y'all are excited about it. Let me know how you feel in the comments. I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm just so excited to be able to engage in this like larger conversation with y'all as a community and be able to use the skills that I have to give you what you want, to give you what you have requested. Like, there's nothing better than being able to meet your love and passion with my love and passion and just make it real, make it manifest in the world. So thank you so much for being here, and I love y'all so very much, and I am super, super excited. I'll see you in the next one.